Anne Boleyn, the most famous ghost of the Tower of London. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever visited the historic Tower of London and felt a chill run down your spine? Or perhaps you've stood in awe of its ancient walls while imagining the countless lives that unfolded within them. Today we're taking you on a journey through time to uncover the eerie tale of one particular corner of this iconic landmark, the spot where they say a queen still walks without her head. Our story begins in the heart of London, where the River Thames once flowed with silent wisdom and the city was ruled by an iron fist. This was a time when the mighty monarchs of old held sway over their subjects. Their every whim was law, and their desires could turn dreams into dust. At the height of this power play was a dashing young monarch, Henry VIII, whose appetite for life mirrored his voracious hunger for conquest. But alas, the king's heart desired what it desired, and all the gold in the kingdom couldn't buy him the love of the woman he adored, Anne Boleyn. Enter Anne, a lady of the court whose beauty and wit had captivated the king's attention like a moth to a flame. However, her charm concealed a fire that burned with ambition, and her heart belonged not to the king, but to the throne. Yet fate, it seems, had other plans for the pair. As Henry's obsession grew, so did his determination to possess Anne's affection. His pursuit became relentless, turning his whole world upside down in a bid to win her hand. He wooed her with promises and poetry, but Anne remained steadfast, tantalizing the king with her refusal, knowing that she held all the cards in this game of love and power. In a shocking turn of events, Henry found himself captivated by the allure of this elusive queen. He courted her relentlessly, determined to capture her heart. However, Anne remained unyielding, aware that she possessed the power to captivate the king's attention. Little did she know that her strategic stance would lead to a whirlwind of consequences that would change the course of history forever. Anne had skillfully played the game of royal courtship, leading Henry to break away from the clutches of Rome itself to wed her. She had become the most powerful woman in the land, but her ascent to the throne came at a cost. For Henry, forsaking the church had brought him closer to Anne, but it had also distanced him from the unwavering support of the masses. Yet amidst this turbulent backdrop, Anne found herself in a precarious position. The king's adoration had waned, replaced by a growing impatience for an heir to secure his dynasty. Under pressure, Anne gave birth to a daughter, the future Queen Elizabeth, but the child was not the son Henry craved. Jealousy and suspicion began to cloud the king's judgment, twisting his perception of Anne and driving him to consider her removal. As the shadows of doubt lengthened, Henry turned against Anne, consumed by his desperate need for a male heir. The whispers of discontent grew louder, fueled by Anne's inability to produce the longed-for son. With each passing moment, her position at the king's side became more tenuous, caught in a web of deceit and danger. Anne's adversaries sensed the shifting tides, and they wasted no time in seizing the opportunity. They whispered venomous lies into the king's ear, painting Anne as a treacherous villain, scheming seductress who had deliberately thwarted his path to fathering a son. Henry, blinded by his obsessive quest for a male heir, found himself swayed by these insidious whispers. Once convinced of Anne's supposed treachery, the king's heart hardened like stone. His love turned to loathing, his tenderness to torment, and his affection to icy disdain. As the noose tightened around Anne's fate, she faced her final moments with a mixture of fear and resignation. On May 19, 1536, the day arrived when her life hung precariously in the balance. Summoned to the Tower of London, a place steeped in tales of imprisonment and despair, Anne knew that she was facing her ultimate demise. Within the cold, stark walls of her confinement, she awaited her fate, her steps echoing the rhythm of her fading hope. As dawn broke, casting long shadows across the courtyard, Anne made her way to the Tower Green, the very spot where her destiny would be sealed. With each step, the weight of her situation pressed down upon her, suffocating her with dread. The executioner approached, his face hidden behind a mask of grim determination. The blade glistened in the morning light, a cruel parody of the jewels that once adorned Anne's hair. As the first stroke descended, severing the bonds of life, her head rolled onto the ground, staining the grass crimson. A gasp escaped her lips, a silent testament to the abruptness of her fate. The crowd watched in morbid fascination, their eyes wide with a mix of horror and morbid curiosity. In that instant, Anne's life force ebbed away, leaving behind a broken body and a legacy that would echo through the corridors of history. But the story doesn't end here. For as the centuries passed, tales emerged of a ghostly queen forever bound to the Tower of London. Some say her soul lingers in the chambers where she once resided, seeking solace, or perhaps vengeance. Visitors and staff alike have reported sensing a mysterious presence within the tower walls. A chilling reminder of Anne's tragic fate. The Tower of London has echoed with the whispers of countless stories, each adding a layer of intrigue to its already enigmatic history. But it is an IBN's tale that stands out as the most haunting, a story of love, betrayal, and a brutal end. As the centuries rolled by, the very stones of the tower seemed to absorb the essence of those who walked among them, and Anne's spirit became inextricably linked to its ancient walls. To this day, Anne's ghost is said to wander the Tower of London, forever seeking peace, or perhaps justice. Some claim to have witnessed her ethereal form gliding through the shadows. A translucent figure in 16th-century attire, her face etched with an otherworldly sadness. Her presence, though unseen, is felt in the sudden drop of temperature or the rustle of fabric where no earthly breeze can reach. But the sightings don't end there. In the quiet hours of the night, when the bustling crowds have departed, and the moon casts an eerie glow upon the courtyard, some say they hear the faint sound of footsteps echoing through the empty halls. Could it be in making her spectral rounds, revisiting the places she once called home? The legends only intensified during the Christmas season. According to lore, on Christmas Eve, Anne's ghost descends the stairs of the Queen's house, pausing to gaze at those who enter. Mournful eyes seem to plead for understanding, seeking solace from those who have come to pay their respects. One visitor recounted an extraordinary encounter during a Christmas Eve tour. As the group stood in the shadow of the ancient walls, the apparition appeared before them, descending the stairs as if summoned from the depths of time. For a fleeting moment, the ghostly queen glided through the darkness, her presence both terrifying and inspiring. The witness, overcome with wonder and disbelief, watched as Anne vanished into the gloom, leaving behind a sense of profound unease. But perhaps the most compelling evidence of Anne's lingering spirit is found not in fleeting glimpses, but in the echoes of her voice. Some who have dared to venture into the tower's hallowed halls have sworn to hear disembodied whispers carried on the wind. These spectral murmurs, though elusive and indistinct, seem to carry fragments of Anne's tormented tale, her anguish and despair resonating through the centuries. As if the very stones of the tower itself were imbued with her sorrow, allowing her voice to rise above the hushed reverence of those who tread upon her ghostly ground. The mystery deepens when one considers the peculiar circumstances surrounding Anne's execution. Unlike many of her contemporaries, her remains were never disturbed, nor were they ever recovered. Some believe that this act of omission allowed her spirit to remain tethered to the mortal realm, unable to find peace in the great beyond. The Tower of London stands as a silent sentinel to the countless lives that have unfolded within its formidable embrace. And an Amlin's story remains the most indelible mark upon its ancient soul. Whether her ghost roams the corridors or whispers through the ages, one thing is certain, and as tragic fate continues to captivate and haunt all who dare to venture into the realm of her eternal sorrow. The story of Anne Boleyn serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of the human experience, where ambition and love intertwine in a perilous dance, and where the echoes of the past continue to resonate in the present. As long as humanity grapples with the intricacies of desire and consequence, Anne's tale will endure, a timeless cautionary tale whispered through the ages. We hope we brought you a new perspective on Anne Boleyn's story. And if you enjoyed this, please let us know in the comments below. And why not share your own thoughts on the Tower of London? See you next time.